Hey everyone, here's today's quote, and it comes from Tyrion Lannister. Once you accept your flaws, no one can use them against you. Let's jump into it.
This is the Military Sherpa Podcast. Left, right, left leadership insights from America's best. With your Military Sherpa, Mark Tilsher.
Welcome back to the Midweek Mindset. I am your host, Mark, and it is time to jump into some motivation that will hopefully help us get through to the rest of the week. So today's quote comes from Tyrion Lannister. Once you accept your flaws, no one can use them against you. And this quote resonates with me really well. Every one of us, we're all flawed, imperfect creations. All of us are made with the potential to have a tremendous impact on the world and the individuals in it. But we're also created with flaws, with things that we're not good at or things that we'll never be good at. Self-doubt can be the thing that holds us back from reaching our potential. External criticism can be the thing that holds us back from reaching our potential. And if we're not careful, we can negatively spiral around the things that make us less than great rather than focusing on the things that make us great. And the things that make us great are what we'll be remembered for, and they're the things that will give us the greatest impact on the world around us. Imposter syndrome, if you've ever heard of imposter syndrome, it is a very real thing. It's when we feel like we're not made for what we're doing, that someone else is better suited for what we're doing, or that we're fooling people around us. I struggled with imposter syndrome for about 50 episodes of my podcast. All the advice I'd ever received said, hey, it takes about 50 episodes to find your voice. 50 episodes, I struggled with imposter syndrome, and I finally feel like I can turn the microphone on and just talk and love my show. Imposter syndrome, right? It held me back. I focused on my flaws, the tone of my voice, the quality of my mic, all of those things. We're our own worst enemy at times. Our own worst enemy at times is us. And so we need to take stock of limiting negative self-belief. And some of our negative beliefs are founded on truth. And this is where the real difficulty comes in, because sometimes, like, what we want to do with our children quite often is to look at them and say, well, you're great, you can be anything. They can't. You know that they can't be anything. But we tell them that you could be anything, you're okay, don't worry about what they said. But the truth is that sometimes the self-limiting beliefs or the negative beliefs that we have are true. The positive spin, or the positive pattern for that, is if we can own our own inadequacies, if we can own our own negative tendencies, then we can put them into a category of things that we're not good at. Maybe we want to improve at them. Maybe it's reasonable to do so. Maybe the effort isn't worth the outcome. And we just own the fact that, you know what, I'm not very good at this, and I'll never be very good at it. And that's fine. I can't edit my own book, but I can hire editors to help with that. There are things I'll just never be good at. But once we own our inadequacies and either decide to improve upon them or accept them, nobody can use them against us anymore, because we're not pretending to be something we're not. We've already owned it. It allows us to triple down on what makes us great. It's where you have the greatest impact on the world. And again, it's what you'll be remembered for. In Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister was a little person, and he had no martial ability. He wasn't going to be able to pick up a massive sword and start swinging. Like, it just wasn't in the realm. He had inadequacies in that area. And he could have dwelt on that. He could have made it the focus of his life in a time where swordsmanship and combat were of prime importance. And he would have lived and died miserably. Instead, he owned his inadequacies. He tripled down on what he was good at, what he did best. And his quote in this area is just as famous. What did he do best? He drank and he knew things. I hope that this inspires you to action. I hope that it inspires you to own your inadequacies and not use them as limiting self-beliefs, not let them cause you to struggle with imposter syndrome, but they help you to unlock your potential, triple down on what you're good at, and have a tremendous impact on the world. I'll talk to you very soon. See you next Monday.